Hey yo YouTube, I am here to continue talking about our D&D game. We start this session off where we left off, where we are trying to go through the portal, and we end up waking up from the dream walk. Um, Onyx Scar ends up in the warrior's den. Most of the party wakes up in Beck's tent. And the DM says pretty much around the same time, Onyx's sister comes in, Ivan comes in to talk to Nina, and and pretty much both of them tell us that we've been dreamwalking for 11 days. Uh, Onyx Scar's sister says that they should go talk to the wise ones, the one that was assigned to us, Arabelle. Um, I believe we decide that Beck's 10 is closer, so we go to them first. Ivan tells Nina that Apollo's charm spell ran out during the 11 days. He also said that he kind of had to get physical to contain him when he first came out. Uh, Nina ends up going to where Apollo is and tries to do like an influence to join our group and stuff. And he does a really bad job in my opinion. Like he starts like telling them how he gave him a name and stuff like that, and him being a wolf. Like a lot of the points that he's making, like the wolf doesn't really care. He does decide that he'll stick around for now, but we'll see what happens later. So we end up going to the wise ones and telling them our whole dream walk, stuff like that, the whole story. They tell us that we need to go to the Temple of Knowledge and finally meet Brother Bennett because he's going to be assigned to us. So we head down to Fort Tar. Um, we go see him. I want to say uh, well, I know, because like back since the Temple of Knowledge is holy, I want to say it might be under the God of Knowledge or something, Temple of Knowledge. Since Beck is part vampire, she's never been able to go into it. Like this is probably like our third, fourth time entering this temple, and every time she's had to wait outside. Uh, and we say for Ivan and Apollo to wait outside too. Maybe even Kotaku. I'm not sure. Like during the walk to go see Brother Bennett, I Onyx Scar asked the the wise one if she's heard of if the spells that medicine cats, and he pretty much says rangers, where they're able to see and hear through animals, like he's heard of that, is that true? And she pretty much confirms it, and I'm just like, he just pretty much says all right. um so we go talk to Brother Bennett, and Brother Bennett pretty much says that we're gonna end up being a part of joint operations, which is like the New Loran Confederation is working with a few other people, a few other groups. I believe it might even be like Janissaries, dwarves, elves, which to a point they already do. I mean, the dwarves and elves. And they're a group that's supposed to take out the Order of the Hidden and pretty much cults of the evil gods. Um, he tells us we're gonna have to go to their base. We're gonna have to go through some kind of security thing, and that and he refers to Ivan and Apollo more than once as a goulash. Like at one point he says like let's let them wait outside, and and whenever he's talking about this, like if there's some kind of security that that will could deactivate the security, the gulags might not survive it. And Onyx ends up saying like, "What's a gulag?" And at first he's like, "Oh, that's Apollo and or Ivan and Apollo, the wolf and the dog." And I'm like, "No, what is a gulag?" And and he pretty much tells us that they're a group that somehow are able to manufacture soldiers, and they don't really care who they sell to. Like they don't care about the slave trade one way or the other, but it seems like that's mostly who they end up working with. I also tell them that this was something I was waiting till the coalition was by itself, but 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 I've been pondering that how did the slavers know that we were going to return with the Wimmicks? And the only two answers I got is that maybe the mobsters uh, decided to turn and got paid off to let them know, or that the gulags, former masters, were able to see or hear through them. And like Brother Bennett and what's her name is like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Uh, when they go through the security thing, maybe we'll find out more. So we end up going to a teleporter to head to this fortress. And we go to the base called the Rocks of Heaven, ROH. When we get there, there's a lot of war forges. Like we go through a long hallway. Eventually, we get to the security that he was talking about. Um, Nina starts thinking about what Onyx Scar said, and she starts trying to do some spells to detect psychic and magic. At first, the DM says no, you don't sense nothing, but then eventually he says that you hear a voice over like a monitor thing saying, "Don't use magic in this room." So they take us to like a spot where they show like there's like a board with a bunch of party names on it. Like I know one of them's the Roughnecks, and then there's a I don't remember what any of the other ones are, and it has ours down as Limit Quest. They tell us if we want to think of a name, we could. If not, we're just gonna stay Wemmick name. They do point out that like one of them up there is like that, where it was just the name they were given and they never changed it. We end up meeting up with the person that's going to be the representative of the ROH or the Joint Alliance, Joint Operations. I don't remember if they told us or if when we were first talking to Father Bennett, but they give us kind of an update on certain things that's been going on. Like they tell us that the smart ABBA that Nina communicated with, they continue communications. At one point, they were able to refine the waygate that lead to their world, and they were able to get her to collect like hundreds of them and follow them through the waygate and took them back to their own world. Um, they did say there was a few still out and out in the wild, and they're getting deeper and deeper. And then they told us about this, about how there's the band of Titans who were on a mission, who also is our high level party, who I've mentioned a few times. The other campaign we played, they mentioned how recently a dwarven kingdom was discovered called Darval, and they sent they sent the band of titans down there to explore it, and they explain of the some of the stuff that we've seen, like there's an army of statues down there, and then also the same group like them having a dispute with one of the guilds. They ended up knocking off like one of their operations, which ended up having a laboratory, a lot like the one that we found with the Abbas. So after that, they give us like a tour of the facility. Um, before they give us the tour, they do tell us that that they know of other way gates that we haven't messed with and they don't know how to open. And they mentioned that there's a way gate here. Um, we do say that we decide like the next day is when we want to continue our mission. Uh, we do also decide we want to go look at the way gate. But we end up getting a tour of the place, pretty much training facility. Most people get assigned, or anyone who wants a room gets assigned one. I end up getting showed where the Warriors Den is, and ends up ending up at a mess hall. Um, Onyx Guard isn't interested in the mess hall at all because of his warrior code and stuff, so he goes to the training room. The rest of the party goes and eats. Nina ends up seeing someone she knows and goes and talks to him, and then that person points out how at a table, one of the people, like the female there, has a big beef with her father. Um, she ends up going to the table and trying to like make friends with them or build the bridge, and it goes terrible. Like the person talks about like all the bad things her father did, and it sounds horrible. It says she says something about like at the end like he mind fucked her, which I don't know if that meant like he manipulated her or if he did a spell. And at the end, Nina's still like, "Oh, I'm gonna mend this bridge." Like, "Oh, we'll see." And we might have looked at the door of Waygate before we went to the bar, but I want to say we didn't. But we go look at the Waygate. Uh, I want to say Nina goes to sleep before that, or after the bar, she goes to sleep, and then she gets the code for the Waygate. She goes, uses it. We look inside, but like I said, like at one point she's like, "Oh, let's keep going," and it's like, "Well, we decided to leave tomorrow." Um, we do also like make a request or whatever. I'm talking to our new bosses or whatever you want to call them, that maybe we should go in with some men, because every time we go in, we fight something at the door, and then when we come back we always have problems holding it. So we end up getting it assigned a 10-man squad. I ask for 4 Wemmicks, and whenever I'm there, I meet a member of Shadow Pride, so I request that that person goes. Um, so the next morning, our whole group gets up, open the door up, get ready to go through, and since we started late and one of our players weren't here and Nina's player has a bad tooth, so normally they probably would have pushed on the extra 3 hours. We stopped right there. But the good news is we're probably not far from a fight because, like I said, every time we go through a door, we go through a fight. So we'll see. You want to know what happens the rest of the story? Watch my next video. You want to know the whole story? Watch all my videos and check you later.